What's up, YouTube? For today's video, with a full worst Tera type Pokemon team. Today's video, I'll be focusing on combinations of the worst Tera types that you could possibly pick on your Pokemon team. For example, a Rotom fan with Tera Flying holding an air balloon with the levitate ability. So we got some really funny Pokemon that was suggested here. And tell me in the comments section what you would pick for the very worst Tera type Pokemon. A combination, right? I'd like to have a think about it and put it below. I want to see if we can come up with some really funny stuff that maybe isn't in my video. Alright, let's get on to it. First battle here, we got a Tera Flying Orthworm. So I thought Tera Flying Orthworm would be good with Earth Eater, and it would be absolutely redundant and useless, right? So I tried to make a set based around that. It's a special set too, so I tried to make it even worse. So we got a Glimmora lead. I think they were pretty surprised that I managed to have a ground type move there, especially Earth Power, to put the Glimmora on a Focus Sash. This is a battle against Sky as well. This is a Pokemon battle, or random battle on the Poke Portal, as most of these ones are. So we got a Snorlax coming in. Orthworm is going to go for Tera Blast, and it's going to do pretty much nothing. Snorlax is very tanky. So this set is Max Health, Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. We got Tera Blast Flying, Steel Beam, Earth Power, and Shed Tail. Air Balloon is the item with Earth Eater and Tera Flying. So deliberately doing like a really terrible team. Man, I've versed so much sweaty competitive teams with this this team. Like, people were going like, you know, Sword Dance and Terratalizing on the first turn with legendaries and, you know, Zacions and other things like that. After seeing like Rotom, Air Balloon, and things like that, it was crazy. So my next Pokemon here isn't all that bad at all if I don't choose to actually do its Tera. It is a Tera Steel Gliscor. Now, Gliscor isn't all that bad for Tera Steel, but with the Toxic Orb as its item and Poison Heal, you could essentially go, you know, Tera Steel before the Toxic Orb activates to have like a useless combination. So some of the battles I did, I was able to get like the useless combination to work, or I was able to do it before maybe their item activated, but some I wasn't. So what I did is I picked out of each battle what Pokemon I would choose to Tera. So we've got 7 battles today, so across those 7 battles, I picked a different Pokemon to do their Tera combination with. In this case, it wasn't all that bad because Gliscor's Toxic you know, Poison Heal still works with it being a Steel type, but obviously that wouldn't have been the case if I had a Tera Steel and then the Poison you know, tried to activate it being, you know, a Steel type. You know, it wouldn't have worked. So this Snorlax is going to stall for a little bit here. I managed to set a couple of I Sword Dance at least up against this. This Gliscor is probably definitely the best set on my team. So we got Max Attack and Max Speed, Jolly Nature. Toxic Orb is the item, Poison Heal. Facade, Tera Blast, Steel, Sword Dance, and Crab Hammer. I like to mind Crab Hammer on it because I thought it'd be good for like any fire types. So in comes a sweaty Incineroar, dropped in one shot there by a Crab Hammer crit. I don't think that mattered at all. I was still, what, +3 at that point. Next Pokemon's going to be Urshifu. Now, Urshifu is going to be Tera here. It's like, I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to go like Tera Fighting against my Gliscor? I wasn't really sure. But they went Tera Electric. So it's like, oh, okay. I didn't really expect that. So Urshifu is going to get outsped by my Gliscor. Going for Facade. Good damage, but it actually managed to live, which is pretty interesting. They're going to go for Drain Punch. It doesn't take me out. Very close. Gliscor, even being a sweeping Pokemon, still has some very nice, like, I think it's got like 125 or something in base defense. So I was able to live that Drain Punch and take out the Urshifu. So we're getting a nice little mini sweep here. Next Pokemon's going to be your boy King Toilet. It's got that Supreme Flush, and I'm going to get hit by a Sucker Punch. Now, I did think about they would have that, but I wasn't really too concerned because I hadn't lost any Pokemon left. So I went for the attacking move, but it didn't pay off. Next Pokemon is going to be a Drift Blim. Now, this is a Flare Boost Tera Fire set with a Flame Orb. So, obviously, with the Tera Fire, if you went Tera Fire right away, obviously I can't now, you know, you don't have the Flame Orb activating, so therefore the Flare Boost wouldn't activate. So it would be a very useless Tera type and ability combination. I should say this is really based around the Tera being useless for the ability and the Tera type at the same time. I tried to put, you know, and add items and other things like that too. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. So anyway, that's the end of Drifblim. I flung a Flame Orb anyway to the King Toilet. Unfortunately, since it had quite a few Pokemon fainted already, it still managed to, faint Drifblim. We're going to bring in Orthworm here and try and get some damage. I tried to play a few mind games with Sucker Punch and Shed Tail and get some burn damage. The Drifblim set was Tera Blast Fire, Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, and Fling with Flame Orb and Flare Boost, Max Special Attack and Max Speed, Tip and Nature. So it wasn't all that bad, but the combination of going Tera type Fire and not getting the burn for Flare Boost was was absolutely terrible. I'm sure there's like a ton of other like really, really terrible Tera type combinations that you can pick from. So I can't wait to read the comments and see if anyone's got anything else to suggest there. So the next one is going to be Zangoose. So we've got Tera Poison Zangoose with Toxic Boost. And this set was Tera Blast, Facade, Reversal, and Switcheroo. So sometimes I go for Switcheroo to get rid of my Toxic Orb. Say if I already, wasn't poisoned. I didn't want to make the Facade Zangoose with Toxic Boost like too strong. So sometimes I trick my item away if I wasn't going to Tera it. So that one had Max Attack and Max Speed, Jolly Nature. Next Pokemon to come in is going to be Glimora. It's going to go for a Spiky Shield. That's going to do a little bit of damage to me, but it doesn't really matter because I kind of wanted to use Reversal anyway, or at some stage I might need it, so that's only going to power it up. So that was a 1 health, and any I noticed any Toxic Spikes and stuff like that didn't really affect my team at all. Even Stealth Rock wasn't all that good to that many of my Pokemon regardless. So last Pokemon I got is a Cinccino. Here comes a Reversal. Does alright damage, nothing amazing there. I wasn't a very high base power, and it's going to finish me off with a Tail Slap. So Tail Slap, I'm thinking they're probably going to have something like Loaded Dice or King's Rock or some troll item like that. So we're going to go into Rotom Fan. Now, this was definitely the worst Pokemon on my team. As I said before, it was Tera Flying, Levitate Ability with an Air Balloon, and it was also physical as well. So, like, I had people going, like, doing some battles. I had people, like, going super competitive and sweaty against this Rotom Fan. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, they were tearing first turn, setting up sword dances, going, like, it was crazy, going, turn one with a Calyrex Shadow Rider and things like that. This was Max Attack and Max Speed, Adamant Nature, Tera Blast Flying, Poltergeist, Facade, and Trick. It was the worst set ever. It got clapped there by the Minnesota. I tried to actually get rid of its item, which I did, but it still managed to hit me with, like, on this turn, it still managed to hit me with, like, 5 attacks in a row, which I was, I was pretty salty about that, because, if that happened to me, I would have, like, landed, like, 2 of them. So, anyway, Cinccino Minnesota is going to get 5 hits off here in a row, almost taking my Goodra down to half health. This set was terrible as well. So we had Terra-type Grass with Sap Sipper and holding a Rindo Berry. So it was absolutely disgusting. So I've got Tera Blast, Gyro Ball, Ice Spitter, and Curse, Max Health, and Max Attack, Brave Nature. I managed to take out the Cappuccino at the end and get the fat dub, and that was it. That's the end of the battle. Thank you, Sky, whoever you are. Thank you for the battle. Let's get on to battle number 2 here. This is a battle against Zirkle, and we have we got a crab team here. So we got 6 different crab sets. So I felt like a few crab sticks, So my first Pokemon we got is a Cloth. I know that really surprised you. I'm going to go for Poltergeist here, and I'm going to get some incredible damage. Like, you couldn't believe the amount of damage I got. So Cloth is going to be setting up a Stealth Rock here. I'm going to go for Trick, because I want to see what item this actually has. And I thought I'll give it the Air Balloon anyway, and maybe get rid of a good item. So I got a Leftovers, which wasn't all that bad at all. This Cloth is going to have Guillotine, so they're going to try and hit me with a Guillotine. Now, the bad thing is I went for Poltergeist, right? I tricked my item away, but then I couldn't use Poltergeist afterwards, so I had to either attack it with another move or swap out. Obviously, I did that on purpose to try and... I think I nerfed my Rotom set way too much. Like, it was already terrible to begin with. I just nerfed it into the ground, even more. So my Zango's going to swap in, get hit by a Rock Smash, which did actually a ton of damage. I was actually contemplating on swapping out here because I didn't want to lose it just yet. And I went for Reversal in the end. I decided to go for the damage, and they popped the Guillotine. That would have been, that probably would have landed if I swapped into another Pokemon, knowing my luck. So that's going to be in the Cloth there. Cloth number 1. Next one we got is Cloth number 2 here. So I'm going to go for Reversal again. That's my best attack. Great damage on Cloth. It is super effective, and this one's going to have Rock Blast. So it possibly has the load of dice as the item, so I thought I'll swap into my Rotom here, and at least I can get rid of that item. So I went for the Poltergeist just a sec, check what item a good, it is to begin with, and I took that one out. I decided to, just feint it instead of going for Trick, because that probably would have backfired. Next Pokemon's going to be the homie Blue Crab. We got a Trailblaze set there, outspeeding my Rotom fan. So this set obviously wants to be going first. I was like, it's either going to be a sweeping set or, something scummy. So I got a critical hit on Poltergeist, which is really cool. Here comes another Trailblaze. So really getting those speed boosts up. Now, Clorf has got the ability Anger Shell too. So I know one of them is going to have that. And I could also see it's got a Lychee Berry. So it's going to be, definitely a physical based set. So the Anger Shell boosts are going to activate here. This is going to be hitting very, very hard. I know that it's going to have some kind of powerful physical move here. And I don't really want to... I was thinking about actually going for Trick to get rid of its Lychee Berry. I was like, you know what? I'll just attack it to begin with. And it used Endure. So it's going to have a +2 in attack. From the Lychee Berry and the Anger Shell, and it's on 1 health. So I started thinking, okay, this is going to have Flail or something like that. One of those strategies with one health. So it got an attack boost, and then he uses Flail. So I'm like, oh, shoot, this is bad, because this is going to essentially take most of my team out. It's like, all right, well, Goodra will be a safe swap in, Got that Terra Grass, got that Rinderberry, got that Sap Zipper. Unfortunately, it's got Reversal as well. So I'm like, oh, no, it's got, near perfect coverage. It's the only Pokemon that could probably get around it. Either, my Drifblim or my Orthworm. So I decided we'll go into Orthworm. I'll try and bait them here, and I'll go for a Terra Flying. So Terra Flying will resist the reversal. I'm hoping that they went for that and didn't go for Flail. So we got that Terra Orthworm. Here comes the reversal. Orthworm's got good damage and good defense, and it's going to take little damage, and also Terra Flying too. So that's the end of my my Air Balloon. I was very sad about that. And Earth Power is going to take out the Blue Crab. So that's 3 crabs down here. Next we got his tasty legs, with crabs, right? If you've eaten them before. The in their claw, right, is some real sweet, tasty meat. If you've ever had it, you got to crack their claw open and stuff like that. We got a Terra crab here. It's also flying too. It's got them man. There's some big helium balloons to lift that crab up. So it's going to go a special cloth and power. I nearly said Power Herb is going to take your boy out. We got a different type of power there. That's the end of my Orthworm. We got my Gliska swapping in here. Going to take a little bit of Stealth Rock. So I go for Sword Dance. So I thought I was able to get away with that. And it's going to use Guillotine, so it's like quite a few of these actually did have Guillotine. So I almost took that out, and I put it in a Anger Shell range, which is very, very bad. So it's going to get a bunch of boosts here. Anger Shell's not a bad ability at all. It gives Clorf a chance to sweep. Another miss Guillotine. I think that could be 4 misses on Guillotine now, and I just went for a Disrespect Terra Blast. I was like, well, if I live this turn, or if I do live this turn, I should be able to take it out regardless. Next Pokemon's, and it's another crab. It's blue and it's called Quick. Probably has Quick Claw, and I don't even know how that lived. You wouldn't read about it. It lived on 1 health, and Guillotine missed there. I finished it off with another Disrespect Terra Blast there. So that's like 3 or 4 crabs that had Guillotine. It's like, man, one of these is gonna land. So next one is Paldea Krabby. I've gone for Crabhammer, and it lived again. I was like, come on, man. And then it finally landed the Guillotine, and that's the end of my Gliscor. So I knew that it was gonna land eventually. I think probably all of them had Guillotine. Let's be real. So that's the end of the Gliscor. Last Pokemon I've got is Drifblim, and this is my Terra Fire set, but obviously I've already used my Terra Flying Up. So I went for a Disrespect Fling Flame Orb, and it was enough actually to take out the crab, and that's the end of the battle. I hope you enjoyed that one, people. We had a crab rave battle there. If you're enjoying the video so far, if you want to support the channel, help your boy out, hit that like button, leave me a comment what you think is the worst Terra type combination. I love to see your comments and stuff. I always like to read them during my my breakfast time. It's good. Next battle here, this is a random battle on the Poke Portal. We've got actually, I don't know my opponent's trainer name either. We've got a Excadrill. So Excadrill is going to be setting up Stealth Rock. I actually got a lucky crit with Poltergeist there. I actually did a bit more damage than I normally would, because normally it's incredibly terrible. So the Pokemon we got to swap out here is into Taurus, Paldea. It's got to be the fire one, and my attack failed. I was like, what? This thing doesn't have an item? I was like, damn, this is bad, right? What am I going to do? Go for Facade? So I went for Facade, right? He did 2. Was that a crit? I think it might have been a crit. And Flare Blizz is going to take me out. That was horrendous. So I don't know. I think they got that. They got that Taurisium Z. You know, they're gonna go for that Z move soon. And we're gonna swap into Gliscor. So Gliscor has got the Crab Hammer, and I'm sick of these Pokemon living on 1 health, man. Like, it happened all the time. So they're gonna go for a Raging Bull, and they did some pretty good damage to me. I kind of wish they went for Flare Blitz there. They would have fainted themselves. So that's the end of the Bull, and in comes Primarina. So I just went for Terra Blast. Now, I really don't have a lot to hit Primarina with this Gliscor. I mean, I could go for Terra Steel now, but as you know, I don't want to go for the same Terra. I want to Terra a different Pokemon, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get every one of them to use their Terra type. So I went to Orthworm. Here comes Sparkling Aerial, and I'm going to get hit by a really powerful attack there. I was hoping maybe for an Ice Beam, but it didn't work out. So I unloaded a Steel Beam, and they swapped into Ursaluna Bloodman. I was like, man, that was really good. I got some great damage off there. That was good. So I did a swap back into Gliscor. I know that I've got Crabhammer to deal with this thing. I was a little bit worried I might miss or it might badly live, and it didn't. So Ursaluna is down, and that's a good Pokemon to get around. It hits hard, and it's very bulky too. Next Pokemon, I knew they'd bring back their Primarina. I just swapped out, so I thought, I don't want to sack my Gliscor off just yet. I might be able to make use of that. You know that Tauros? That's the Pokemon I feel could be a bit of a problem. So they're going to go for Icy Wind on Goodra Hisuian. That's going to do nothing at all. I really wanted to go for Terra Grass here on my Goodra because, you know, that's like the only use they'll probably ever get. And I went for a Gyro Ball. Then they popped a special Ursa Ring. I was like, what the? Ursa, okay, they're both a bear, right? Give me a break. And they popped an Aura Sphere on. I was like, man, you know, props using a special set there. So we got the extra sliding back in here, and I'm going to go out. I'm thinking they're going to go for like Earthquake, so I went into Drifblim or a ground type move. And it turned out they went for a Fissure. So I was like, wow, okay, they got Fissure on the extra. Interesting. I got that Flame or Burn. I was like, all right, I could go for a Terra Fire here. I possibly could. Or I could wait, just go for Shadow Ball. So I decided to wait and go for Shadow Ball. Primarina is going to slide in here. And I got some great damage. And that's actually a 2-hit KO on Primarina. So that's that threat dealt with. So now I've kind of got rid of their swap in there for a lot of my threatening Pokemon. So in comes Superior. I was almost close to going into Goodra there, but I thought it might, in case it went for like their own Terra, I thought I was going to Drifblim and go for Terra Fire. I'll be able to resist those Leaf Storms, you know? So I've got that Terra Fire. Here comes the contrary Leaf Storm. I do live that one, which is good. They're going to get a special attack boost. Now I've got Terra Fire, Terra Blast, and I've got Flare Boost as well. So that's going to do it's going to do a lot of damage. Look, wow, it looked like Drifblim just like took a, I don't know, like, you know, I think that Drifblim, I think it went to that Taco Bell's place, and they had those Taco Bells, and yeah, it didn't really work out. I don't know, I'm not from America, I don't know that, but you know, that apparently that Taco Bell place, man, like you have to go to the toilet or something afterwards. So anyway, that's the end of the Drifblim. I got outspared there, but it did its job, you know. Next Pokemon's going to be Gliscor. I've got some blistering speed here, and I'm going to be able to outspeed and go for a Disrespect Terra Blast, taking out the Tauros. All that's left now is the Excadrill from earlier on. I'm going to go for Crabhammer here. That's my best. Unless I miss or something, or I've got some other move to hit me. I didn't think they would. And Crabhammer is going to land, and that is the end of the Mole. And that's it, people. That's the end of the third Pokemon battle. And, they got a sleeping Rillaboom there. We're going to be sleeping after that battle. Let's get on to battle number 3. This is a battle against Benny Banana. I laughed so hard at this nickname. I don't know. What is it? It's Banana. No, it's Banana or something like that. Because obviously my name is Ben, so it was very funny. So then we got a Reaper Cloth Mochi. You got to get the Mochi right, and you wrap it in the Reaper Cloth. Oh, anyway, so here comes the Malignant Chain. That doesn't poison me, which is good. Now I was really thinking something funny. I was like, maybe I could use that terrible Zangoose set, like the Terra Poison one, but but not getting like the toxic boost up with the poison. So I was like, I'll swap it out since they're using Phantom Force. Since I'm a normal type, they won't affect me, and then I can go for Tera Poison or something like that, or try and do some damage to it. So then I looked at my moves, right? Like, watch this. This was terrible. Like, I burst out laughing. I was like, what have I got here? I was like, Tera Blast, no. Facade, no. Oh, so I'm gonna have to go for Tera Blast Poison, right? I'm like, man, I don't know if this is gonna take it out. Like, real talk, right? I'm poison. Okay, I've got my poison here, which is good, but you know, this thing is very, very bulky, and even if they haven't built any defensive EVs into it, it's still not gonna do like too much damage. So going for Tera Poison Zangoose. I like Tera Poison. Looks good. And I'm going for that Tera Blast. I got my fingers crossed here that we can get that W. And here it comes, people. Look at this damage. Oh man, that was huge. So I burst out like, then they used Destiny Bond. I'm like, oh no, right? So like, if I have the swap here, or I'm committed, right? I'm committed. So I'm gonna go. I feel like my Tera Blast at this stage, I really, really wanted to troll him. So I went for Tera Blast. Like, please leave, please leave. And it did. It lived on 1 health. I'm like, this is perfect. They must be super salty. So then they went for the Phantom Force. Like, okay, my job here is done, right? My job here is done. I could either take the Phantom Force and finish them off, or just swap it out. So I decided to swap it out, go into Glisco. I know that Glisco would be able to live that. It's good. There's good natural bulk there. And then I can outspeed it and finish it off with Crab Hammer, because once again, I didn't really have a lot of things to hit that with. So Crab Hammer, thank goodness, doesn't miss, and that is the end of the Reaper Cloth Petri. You know, that Mochi was wrapped in a Reaper Cloth, because I'm not a big fan of Mochi at all. Next Pokemon's going to be Swampert. I smell an Ice Beam or something like that, so going to the Orthworm, got that Air Balloon. Now, this is pretty funny, right? So they went for the Hydro Pump. I was like, damn, that's going to do a lot of damage, and it did. So watch this. They pop my air balloon, right? The coast is clear for them to finish him off. So I went for the Earth Power, but after popping my air balloon, they went for an Earthquake. I can't believe it. Like, this is one of the few times that I actually managed to get Earth Eater to activate with an air balloon, right? Only on Pinot Shadow. So we're going to go for that Shed Tail, swapping out there and swapping in the Terra Grass Goodra. I was like, man, if only I had my Terra Grass here. So Hydro Pump is going to miss. So I was like, well, I got Curse here, right? So I thought Curse would be a good option versus Swampert, because that Earthquake will be doing quite a lot of damage, being super effective and stuff. So I thought I could go for Curse. I've got Gyro Ball in this head. I've got Ice Spinner and stuff like that. So I should be able to do a reasonable chunk of damage with, 2 or 3 curses up, depending on how many I can get. So here comes the first Earthquake, and that does just under half my health. So I was like, all right, that's pretty good. I'll go for this curse, and then I'll go for an attacking move, right? Because that's going to be getting pretty close. So I'm going, I'm thinking about going for Ice Spinner or something. Here comes the next Earthquake, and I live that. It's like, perfect, but you wouldn't read about it, right? I'm holding my Pro Controller. This is no cap either. I'm serious about this. I'm holding my Pro Controller. There was a bit of particle dust in the air, right? I just turned my aircon on. It's a little bit dusty. I breathed in this ginormous thing of dust, and I sneezed, and I pressed the freaking curse button. I was so salty. So all right, what do I do? What do I do, right? So I swapped the Goodra out. I slid back in the Orthworm, got an Earth Eater, and managed to get another Earth Power. I was laughing at this point. The only problem is they had a freaking Hydro Pump. So that's the end of my Orthworm. So all right, well, Goodra pretty much got sacked in this battle. So I'm going into the Rodon fan. They've got a Wise Glasses Swampert. That's why they were doing so much damage with Hydra. But then they had Sludge Wave as well. I was like, what is this Swampert set? So they got that Wise Glasses Mixed Swampert set, and they got wait. They got Liquidation, Hydro Pump, Sludge Wave as well. So that's an Earthquake. That's a pretty cool set. We're gonna go into the Poison type Zangoose, and I'm gonna finish it off with this Facade, right? I want to make sure that they had a bit of health left. So next Pokemon's going to be Oranguru. They got that shiny. So I went for a trick here. I figured they'd probably definitely go for a Psychic type move, but I wanted to see what their item was, right? So I gave them the Toxicop, and I got an Expert Belt. I'm like, that's good. Like, that would have been bad if I get hit by a Psychic move, So Hikawa, super effective, and the boost of that, but it didn't really matter. Oranguru is still going to fame me. Maybe I could have gone for Facade there, but I wanted to try and troll them with the Toxicop. So Toxicop is on there anyway. I've gone into Goodra. They're going to pop a Foul Play here and finish me off. I was hoping to outspeed them. They're both very slow Pokemon. So, it is what it is. We're going to go into Glisco now. I've got to come back into this battle. I popped the Facade here. Good damage. Oranguru kind of thick, though, so I knew it lived that. And they actually got a really, really lucky crit here on Psychic. almost take him out. Very, very close. I only just managed to live that, thank goodness. So there's another facade, and that's the end of Oranguru. So I've still got 3 more Pokemon, and I've got like 1 more left apart from that. Next Pokemon's going to be Lycanroc. Lycanroc, I went for Crabhammer against, and it almost dropped. It was very, very close. They're going to miss a Stone Miss, so that was great. I'd say I definitely would have fainted to that one, being on such a low amount of health. So that's the end of the Lycanroc, so that's good. That sort of makes up for my my miss I did earlier. And now they got this sweaty Ogerpon. I was like, oh no. So I went for the Crabhammer. Reasonable damage there. Here comes the Ivy Cudgel, and that's going to take out Gliscor. There's nothing I could have done about that. We've got last Pokemon, which is Drifblim. I was like, all right, I've got Calm Mind here. Let's go for that. That's my only way to take out the last Pokemon. So the last Pokemon, I can easily one-shot with Shadow Ball, right? And I went for the Calm Mind. I actually outsped, which surprised me. And they hit me with a take. I lived on 5 health, and I got the Flame Orb boost up. I fired a Shadow Ball out of, well, you know where. And that is the end of the Ogerpon. But the problem is, I was burned right, and the burn actually took me out before I could faint their last Pokemon. I think they had a Haunter or something like that. But that was the end of the battle. Thank you to the battle, Ben Banana, whoever you are. I have no idea what your Pokemon sets are, but they were pretty funny. That made me laugh a lot. Next go is we got another battle here. This is battle number 5. I have no idea what my trainer name is. Maybe someone could translate these trainer names. That'd be cool. And we've got a Dialga Origin. I can barely see it. So as you know, my Zangoose pretty much had nothing to use against this, so I was hoping that maybe I'd be put on a low amount of health by their attack and then go for reversal with the Toxic Boost, but I got one shot of there, which is a bit of a shame. So that's the end of Zangoose. Not a good start. We're going to go into Orthworm now. Got that Air Balloon, so of course I can't use Earth Eater, Earth Power on my Earth Eater, and they're going for Flash Cannon, so they're still doing pretty good damage against me. So this is definitely max special attack. I can tell by the damage they're doing, because I feel like Zangoose should have just slipped that one. So anyway, another Flash Cannon. I went for Earth Power now, and Earth Power actually did very, very good damage. Coming off Special Orthworm, you have to admit that. And, Dialga Origin is very, very tanky as well. So that's the end of Orthworm, but things are not going very well because I've lost 2 of my Pokemon on my team already. So I'm going into Drifblim here, and I'm going to finish it off with the Shadow Ball, which is good. I managed to outspeed that one. Not that it's super fast. A lot of the time that that Pokemon builds bulk. So next Pokemon we've got in here, speaking of bulky, is going to be the Iron Hand. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to try and set up against this Pokemon. So I flung my Flame Orb and I burnt it, which is good. And now they're obviously going to go for an Electric-type move, being like Thunder Punch or, whatever. And that does a lot of damage to me. Like Drifblim, the only thing about Drifblim, it does have a lot of health. It's got a big fat health stat, right? So we're going to do a swap into Gliscor, since they're obviously going to go for an Electric-type move. And that's going to allow my Gliscor to probably set up here, which is going to be very, very handy, So some more burn damage there on the Iron Hand, which is good. And now I'm going to go for Sword Dance. So Sword Dance as much as I possibly can here. I don't want to get too greedy and over the top in case they've got some other coverage move or they swap at the wrong time, and then I go outsped by particular Pokemon. There is 1 or 2 Pokemon which I was a little bit worried about, right? So they're going for they obviously have nothing to hit me. They've got like Drain Punch, Close Combat, Thunder Punch. They've got nothing, right? Obviously they can't do anything to me. They probably have like Fake Out or something like that too. But then again, they probably would have used it. But anyway, we got the Flutter Mane coming in. Now this was really weird, right? This is super, super weird. So they went for the Flutter Mane Tera Fairy, which wasn't really weird at all. But afterwards was confusing, right? So as you know, Drifblim isn't that fast. It's all right. Sorry, Gliscor is reasonably fast, but not that fast. They lived that Crabhammer, right? They lived it, and then they went second, and they didn't faint my Gliscor. I was like, what? What sort of Flutter Mane build is like some kind of crazy bulky build or something like that? But anyway, I managed to take it out. I didn't believe I'd lived that, was it Moonblast or whatever? I didn't believe I'd lived that, or I thought I'd take it out in one shot. So anyway, they went to Superior, and they went for going for consistent grass moves. Like maybe they've got no grass move, like apart from any coverage, right? This Pokemon it's a grass Pokemon, right? Has very, very little coverage. So that got just cooked off by an Ice Spinner. And now I'm going to go for a Tera. I thought, you know what? It's time to go for Tera Grass. Hisuane, Gudra, because we got that +2 in attack from the Sap Sippers, right? That was really cool. So I guess that Perry had nothing at all. Like, you know, Leech Seed, maybe Sub or something, maybe, I don't know. That's all it really had. They would have used it, right? So we got Iron Hands coming back in here. Iron Hands really can't do a lot to me at all. Even, you know, it's burn, right? So it's not going to do that much. I've got Terra-type Grass, and that's doing all right. They've also got Drain Punch too, so they are getting a little bit of health back there, I guess. But I'm not really too worried about that. So I'm going for Terra Blast Grass, and that's the end of Iron Hands. So I've got a pretty good lead at the moment on this team. Next Pokemon is going to be Yarn Mega. I was like, yeah, this is bad. So they went for Bug Buzz. That's obviously going to feint me. You know, that's going to take me out with a super effective attack. And that's the end of Gudra. So like, all right, well, I've got Drifblim. Drifblim's got a bit of health. I also noticed I don't have Speed Boost. So this was a tinted, I guess a tinted lens moveset, and they managed to leave, and it was mixed as well. So I'll give some props to my opponent. They had some interesting sets and some interesting builds at least. You know, Pokemon living when they shouldn't, and Pokemon getting outspeed when they shouldn't, and using like mixed sets is interesting. And that fainted, so I had to swap in Gliscor, and I just went for Facade. I only had a little bit of health left anyway. So that's the end of the Gliscor. Now their last Pokemon was Miraidon. So like, of course, I find that's always the way. Like, there'll be some interesting sets, but then they'll have like a really like super sweaty competitive like legendary Pokemon like Miraidon, right, which takes little to no skill to use. So we're going to swap into Rotom here. I was hoping they possibly would go for their coverage move just to see what it would be. I was really trying here to this live right, and I couldn't. It was very, very hard to get around Miraidon. They had a good... I was hoping they'd go for Drake or Meteor if they had it and drop their special attack, but it didn't happen, right? They had Dragon Pulse, and Dragon Pulse was going to hit very, very hard and take the rest of my team out. But still a very, very close battle there. Miraidon obviously was able to take out... I reckon Miraidon could have taken out pretty much every Pokemon on my team, like, by itself, almost there. But anyway, still an interesting battle. I got to use my my Sap Super Gudra. Let's get on to battle number 5. This is a battle against Prince Vegeta, and we have a team of Typhlosions, 6 Typhlosions with 6 different movesets here. So this first set, right, man, this is like a really scummy set there from the King of All Saiyans, right? So this was like a Fire Spin trapping set, right, with Will-O-Wisp. So I couldn't swap out, and I really couldn't do a lot of damage here because I had, what, Terra Blast, Ice Spinner, and Gyro Ball. So they were all going to do donkeys, but, you know, it didn't end there, right? So the other move that the Typhlosion had was Smoke Screen. So it was like dropping my accuracy, trapping me in, and, you know, generally making me salty. Like, you know, my audience love to, like, use troll sets against me. Like, you know, they've seen me use them, then they use them against me. It's like, you know, you create this monster, right? But then the monster is just out of control, you know? I'm so proud of, you know, all my little trolls are now grown up using these, you know, strategies against me. So anyway, my Gudra is really suffering here. It's missing attacks. I'm getting salty, and I'm taking burn damage, and I'm taking burn damage from the fixed damage from the Fire Spin too. So Gudra is literally on its last legs here. Another Fire Spin is going to be enough to take out my Gudra this turn. I went for a final Terra Blast, and I did get... Actually, it's funny, if I landed that one earlier on with the Smoke Screen, I actually would have fainted that... you know, that Typhlosion there. So the Smoke Screen, you know, actually did matter. Next Pokemon we're going to swap in is going to be Drifblim. I thought this could be a good idea to swap it in. They're going to go for Protect, so that was their last move. So not a bad stalling Typhlosion set. You know, so I've got my my item, my Flare Boost ability is going to activate here too. I was very, very close to going for a Terrify Drifblim here. So I tried to disrespect the Typhlosion with a Fling Flame Orb, but it just didn't do enough damage. So obviously this Typhlosion it has bulk to it, right? I'd say it's definitely at least max health. So I finished it off with a Terra Blast here. My plan failed. I tried to get them back for the Smoke Screen, but it didn't work, right? Next Pokemon Typhlosion number 2 here. It's going to go for Defense Curl. So I think I know what this set's going to be. It's going to be like a rollout set. So I almost went for my own rollout there. Shadow Ball hits really, really hard. And this is going to be boosted, right, because of the defense skills. Like, is this going to be like Terra Rock? It might be like Terra Rock or whatever the Terra would be. I imagine that would be a good idea. And it wasn't quite enough to take out the Drifblim. Like, Drifblim's base health was pretty much the only reason I live there, yeah? So next Pokemon is going to be Typhlosion. I know this surprised you. So I'm going to go for another Shadow Ball here on that, and it lifted actually really well. I was like, man, that's one tanky Typhlosion, you know? Like, I was thinking that has to be like max health as well. So it finished off with Thunder Punch. Next Pokemon's going to be Rotom fan. I was like, I want to see what the item is, right? So I'm floating. I've gone for Poltergeist, and it's a Quick Claw Typhlosion. So apparently it was like a max health and max attack Typhlosion. And I don't actually, no, that crit mattered. I think that crit might have mattered because that Rotom was trash. So anyway, that's the end of the Quick Claw Typhlosion. Here comes an Eruption Typhlosion. I have no idea how Rotom managed to live that one, but it was fire, right? Because I managed to get a Poltergeist off here and see its item and drop the power of Eruption. So that did nearly half the health. So another Eruption, another dead Rotom. So that's fine though. I guess Rotom's got reasonable bulk on its special side. So we're going to bring an Orthworm here. I'm definitely going to go for a Tera now. I know that I haven't Terra'd one Pokemon yet on my team. I just realized that. So there is one more battle for you to see with the last Tera Pokemon. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Are you still watching? Are you enjoying it? Let me know in the comment section. And let me know what is your worst Tera. And you can give that like button a little tickle there. So next play here, we're going to go for that Earth Power. I managed to live that Eruption reasonably well. It still did a good amount of damage because, you know, Orthworm's special defense isn't exactly anything to write home about. And we got Typhlosion. Oh, this is a shiny one. I barely noticed. So here comes a Flamethrower. So that's going to take out my Orthworm easily. So I've got two options here. I've got my Orthworm and my Gliscalev. So, sorry, my Zangoose and my Gliscalev. So I was like, all right, I think they're going to go for Flamethrower, so I'll go for Reversal. I reckon I'll just live that and get a full powered up Reversal, but instead of that, they swapped. It's like, oh, damn, that sucks. So I've got my Toxic Boost up here, and I was like, well, I can go for Visadia. That should do, like, heaps of damage to Typhlosion, unless they outspeed me, of course, and that's the end of Typhlosion. So I was like, all right, interesting, I outsped that. So I was like, all right, this one, they have to Tera, because I haven't Terra'd yet. So I want to conserve my Zangoose for now, because I have no idea what the Tera is going to be. And I thought if I go into Gliscor, I should be able to see that, right? So Gliscor's going to take a Flamethrower. That does a heap of damage. Unfortunately, it is a special set. You really don't know with these teams when it's all the... I do it myself, right? When I use a team of all the same Pokemon. I have, like, physical sets, special sets, you know, whatever. So it turns out it's going to be a Tera Grass Typhlosion, which is good, definitely good for, you know, Flash Fire and stuff like that. And it's going to be Tera Grass. So it's going to fire that Tera Grass out of its... no, not out of its, you know. Anyway, that's the end of Gliscor. So I've got one more Pokemon left, which is Zangoose. Like, will I outspeed this? And I'm curious, right? So I went for Visadia. It turned out it did outspeed it, so I'm glad I did swap there. And it almost took me out very, very close. I went for Visadia, and that's, you know, most definitely going to take out the Typhlosion. And that is that's the end of the battle. I hope you enjoyed it. A really cool team, man. Always a pleasure to battle. And let's get on to battle number 7. It is. This is a battle against Angel. This is another random battle on the Poke Portal. And we got a Levany lead. So whenever you see a Levany lead, it is definitely going to be setting up a sticky webs. It's going to be very, very sticky situation, you know. So we got some webs on the field, but look, it really doesn't matter a lot in my team. The only one I would say it really is bad against, I'm just thinking, right, pretty much Zangoose. That's about it, because, I mean, we got Gliscor, Rotom. I mean, there's this Air Balloon Author, not that it matters too much. My team has so many flying types. And we got Goodra as well. I mean, Goodra, that's going to benefit Goodra with Gyro Ball. Anyway, so I did a little bit of a baton pass here into, not baton pass, a Shed Tail into Drifloon. So I managed to get a Shadow Ball on the Levany, and Levany actually lived that one. Wait, no, I didn't have my, no, I did. I think that Levany's max health. So anyway, it's going to go for Skitter Smack. Now, Skitter Smack normally drops special attack stat, which is good that I've got my substitute here, so that, you know, isn't going to drop it. So I can drop the Levany, however, with another Shadow Ball. So that's pretty good. But yeah, pretty much the only time you'll see that is when it's setting up Sticky Web and stuff like that. Next Pokemon's going to be Clefable. So this is either going to be a bulky stalling set. So I thought, I'm going to test what ability it has. So I flung my Flame Warp to Clefable. I thought, if it's got Magic Guard, oh no, right, because it won't do any damage to itself, or if it's got Unaware, it will, right? So that's going to be a good way to see what type of set that is. So it's going to use Encore, and I'm trapped into using Fling, which is bad. I was going to swap out anyway, which is totally fine, because now I know that it's unaware, because I can see that, that Flame Orb damage. So I was like, all right, we'll swap it to Orthworm. Let's see what I can do here. So I'm floating on the air balloon, and now they're going to, for the typical Cosmic Power set, right? Nothing sort of new there. So they're going to try and use, I'd say, Stored Power, and I'm going to go for Steel Beam here. Now, this was impressive. That was very, very impressive damage for a special Orthworm with a +1 in special defense. So I was super happy about that. Like, man, that's great, right? Now they've got a second Cosmic Power up. Now, the bad thing here is I know they're going to go for Wish, right? They're going to try and heal for sure. So this thing has a bit of health left there, and I was like, all right, what's going to happen now? But they ate a berry. I was like, oh no, it's citrus. But they didn't have citrus berry, right? They had a pitaya berry, which is interesting. So they've boosted their special attack. So they've definitely got stored power, absolutely. So I can smell a Wish a mile away or a stored power. So I went for the Tera Flying Rotom Fan physical set. So I thought, if I Tera Flying this and use Tera Blast, I can disguise this, right? I can disguise it. I can make it out that I'm a special set, and the opponent won't know. So here comes the Tera Blast flying, and Clefable lived it. Well, I knew it would because it's a physical set. Now, instead of going Stored Power, they went for Draining Kiss. So Draining Kiss is going to heal them, but they don't really have enough special attack up there to do a lot of damage to Rotom. It's not like it's super effective or anything like that. So I actually did enough damage here with the Rotom Tera Flying to take out the Clefable. So that's one of the few Pokemon Rotom fan actually ever got to feint. Next Pokemon's going to be Grimmsnarl. This is really funny, right? Because they're probably definitely expecting Air Slash as my move, but they were wrong. I was Tera Flying, Tera Blast physical set, right? And that does great damage to Grimmsnarl. So now they've realized, obviously, it's a physical set and set the Reflect up, and I just went for Tera Blast Flying, like, continue. I thought I might be able to actually beat this Grimmsnarl. Still good damage there. So it's about a 2-hit KO at this point. I'm going for another one. It just lives again. Like, man, the amount of times the opponent just lived. They're going to go for a Spirit Break. I actually called that Spirit Bomb before. Drop my special attack. Doesn't matter. I can finish off 2 Pokemon there with the Tera Flying Rotom physical set. So I was really happy with that. I was like, man, I've not done that before. Then come the Electivire. This Pokemon was a mega problem for my team because obviously my entire team was pretty much weak to it. And as you know, my Gliscor didn't have Earthquake, so I didn't have like a simple counter to get around that. So I went into Zangoose. I knew they'd probably have some kind of coverage move, maybe like Ice Punch, and I lived that one, and then that Brick Break. So they got Ice Punch and Brick Break. So pretty perfect coverage. When you think about it, that's perfect coverage for my entire team. So like, I don't know whether I can get past this, right? They've got like a really good advantage here. They got an electric move. I was hoping they'd miss a Supercell Slam there or had Thunder Punch, but that's going to take out my Drifloon. I've got my Goodra here. I know that I can live a Brick Break. I'm definitely know that I can do that. I did a swap here. I thought, I'm going to go into Gliscor. They're probably going to go for like Brick Break or Earthquake, and they did, which is perfect. So that's going to allow me to get my Poison up there, and it's also going to stall the Reflect and Light Screen. I really want to Reflect to go, so I really had to play. This was a difficult play just to stay in the battle and get those things to happen. So I sacked off my Rotom fan here. I even actually got them to force a Tera as well. They probably thought I was going to go for Earthquake, so the Electivire is going to go for Tera Flying, right? I can see why they did that because it's only got one weakness, but can you see how my play sort of forced them to do that, which is really good. Like, I was happy with that. So now they're going to go for Ice Punch. That's the end of my Rotom, which was useless anyway. I mean, I was happy it got 2 KOs. Reflect is gone, so that's where I wanted this thing to be at. So I went into Goodra Hisuian here. I got that Sticky Web, and I was like, well, I've got Ice Spinner. I could do that. Here comes the Ice Punch. They're trying to freeze me. That doesn't do a lot of damage. I've got Ice Spinner happening. I thought it'd do good damage, like maybe a 2-hit KO, and it almost one-shot it. Very, very close. Now they're going to go for Earthquake. I lived on 7 health, and I managed to get a Gyro Ball finish off there, which is great. So I was so happy about getting around Electivire, considering it was such an easy counter to my team. Next Pokemon's going to be Hitmontop. Obviously, this thing can easily take out my Goodra. It's going to go for, I had like 1 health left, so they can increase their speed. And all I've got left now is my Gliscor. So Gliscor, I've got Facade, but Hitmontop, I know is going to be able to live that one, because unless I get a crit, of course, and I hit that, good damage, but not enough. They can just easily finish me off with the standard triple axle set. But anyway, people, hope you enjoyed this battle. I pretty much put this one up just to show you that Rotom against these sweaty sets, and I'll catch you next time, people. Peace out.